Okay, Simin Samach Tes, Dine Tvilas Mincha, Sif Ches. Okay, so Im Nimshach Tvilas Mincha Alayla. If for whatever reason your mincha stretched into the night. Now, night here doesn't mean bein hashmashas. It means vaday laila. Lo yom tachnan, one should not say tachnan. Ke'enam tachnan b'laila, we don't say tachnan at night. Now, a lot of people, like if they, you daven in a minyan close to Shkia until you get a minyan, and then when the time Chazor Sashat is over, is after Shkia, they say, oh, no tachnan, it's after Shkia. I don't think that's correct. Bein hashmashas, you could say tachnan. You don't say tachnan at night. But I don't want to be ruin anybody's,
There's a story
simcha.
in one of Rav Shalom Shadron books that he said the same thing, and the minion of Shach yelled at him and said, "What do you mean you
Yeah.
can say Tachnan?" Yeah.
Okay, whatever. Maybe in Eretz Yisrael not, because their Ben Hashmash is very short. Okay, and you have to be careful that you should not have mincha last till it's mamish night. Because then you can't even say the kaddish tiskavel, which is after either chazar sashatz or tachnun ala tefillah shespala b'yoyim. On the tefillah that you daven during the day, kivan sha'alayla shayach l'yoyim macharas, because the night, as we know, night goes for the next day. So how do you go say tiskavel on a tefillah that was from the previous day? You can't do that. Okay, test. Misha ba be'erev Shabbos lemincha beis hakneses v'akol kfar kiblu Shabbos. I'm sure this never happens to anybody. Right? You come to erev Shabbos to shul, and the tzibur already started Kabbalah Shabbos or Yom Tiv. Tainu b'Shabbos amar mizmah shili Yom Shabbos or Yom Tiv amru baruch hu. Lo yispal mincha bebeis hakneses azayis. Do not daven mincha in that shul. Ela yele chutz lebeis hakneses yispal. Leave the shul and daven. Vim shemei shahash shashliach tzibur aimer baruch hu. And if he hears that the shliach tzibur says baruch hu lo yana im tzibur, he should not answer with the tzibur. Shem yana baruch hu shuva in rishai l'spal achar kach tefillah shel chol. Because if you answer the baruch hu, then you can no longer say after that the tefillah shel chol. Because once you said baruch hu, you already makabel it as night. So, but some say that if you have in mind not to be makabel Shabbos with that baruch hu, then you're fine. And if you did make a mistake and you answered baruch hu, which would be a natural reaction when you hear baruch hu, so then he's the Kitzur is paskin. You have to daven two mitres. And if you came close to Kabbalah Shabbos Yom Tov, afal pisha lo yuchal ligmar Shemona Esrei kodem shekal Shabbos Yom Tov, even though you're not able to finish the Shemona Esrei before the Mekabel Shabbos Yom Tov, Yachol Ispal, you still can daven kivan shemaslo beheter. Since you started beheter, you're okay. All right, meaning once you started, then even though you came late, this happens a lot. You come late for Mincha and Erev Shabbos, and your Shemona Esrei is still going. You could still continue. You don't have to stop. Now, I don't know how you can do that Shemona Esrei like we learned yesterday. You're not allowed to start Shemona Esrei unless if you're going to miss Kaddish or Kedusha or all of the above. So I don't know exactly how you get around that. Okay, Siman Ayin, Dine Tfilas Meyer will buy say Hey Seifim. So we have Hey Seifim on that. All right. So Zman Kriya Shema Shel Tfilas Shel Arvis Hu Mishanirin Gimel Kechavim Ketanim. The time is when you see three medium stars. Right? All those kids go outside, they look at the star, they go say, oh, 3 medium stars, we don't, Shabbos is over, right? So you have to know exactly how to calculate those 3 medium stars. But one should not daven Ma'ariv before then. And if it's cloudy, which you can't see the stars, so Yamtana and in the cities where there's lights, so it's also hard to gauge. So you wait until you have no suffix, and then you go down Ma'ariv. Nowadays, the minig is to daven Ma'ariv right after mincha. That's what most shuls do. They go mincha Ma'ariv. Even though it's not yet night. The reason is the tircha de tzibura. It's hard to gather the tzibur a second time. right? And the Mishabura says that people are not going to end up going out, and then they're going to end up forgetting to daven Ma'ariv completely.
Is this the heter for plag mincha? And I'm
He's
saying
talking
plag.
about regular standard mincha Ma'ariv, mincha before Shkia, Ma'ariv.
That's plag.
It's not plag. Plag is you're davening Ma'ariv even before Shkia.
Yeah, but how you daven mincha?
You
mean
daven
there's
mincha
not?
before plag.
Right.
You daven mincha before plag, Ma'ariv after plag. That for sure you have to do. If you do that by the plag mincha, by the
But I mean,
plag,
Tzirka de Tzibur is a heter for the plag Ma'ariv.
shvach, very shvach. Now, if you do the plag every day, so then fine, you're going like Rabbi Yehuda Shita, who holds that the plag is fine. It's only if like you do it one day not plag and the next day you do plag, like the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch says lechatchila you should not daven mincha after plag any day, right? So if you taka do that, then you have no problem. You can do the plag ma'ariv every day. The problem is that when one day you do mincha till shkia and then the next day you do ma'ariv after plag, that's a little bit of paskening like two different opinions. So for Shabbos, we said we do it because the mitzvah of Tosef Shabbos. So you could do it even though you don't do it during the week. But during the week, it's not. It's debatable. But anyways, he says you have to make sure that Ma'ariv does not take place before mincha, before plaga mincha, because if then that's too early. You know, the same thing with Kabbalah Shabbos. You're not allowed to be Makabal Shabbos before plaga mincha. Women ask when they can light candles, not before plag, because there's no opinion that holds that before plag is considered night. And then that's why b'di'evet you wouldn't be yotz if you daven ma'ariv before plag, and you have to daven ma'ariv again. Praiseworthy is the person who davens ma'ariv with the tzibur at night. Ubein mincha l'ma'ariv oisik b'toira, and between mincha and ma'ariv is oisik b'toira l'chaber alayla im hayoim, to connect the night with the day. B'toira shu inyan gadol. That's a inyan gadol to connect the day with the night by learning Torah, which is where you get the rabbi's drasha between mincha and ma'ariv. It's right for any Yerushalayim that if he davens with the tzibur before the Laila, you should not eat before the night. Wait, and then after tzeis, say the 3 parshas of Kriya Shema. Right? Meaning he's saying you come home, you go to the Mincha Ma'ariv, so you come home 15, 20 minutes after the Shkia. Don't sit down and eat supper yet. Wait until there's man Ma'ariv, which is either 42, 72, 50, 60, whatever the Shirama. Say Shema, because you have to repeat it, because your Shema was said too early, and then eat supper. And somebody who's davening b'yechidus, also loyal spal tefillas aros kadem says him, it's also to daven Ma'ariv before it says. Meaning the only heter to daven Ma'ariv before it says is for minyan purposes. Fine. Lechatchila you're supposed to daven Ma'ariv immediately. But also right after nightfall. It's another one where the yeshivas don't keep it, because again, the yeshivas are trying to keep some sort of uniform order to the day. So they don't want to make it adjustable. You're not allowed to start to eat or to do anything within a half hour of tzeis. Right? Meaning you can't lay down, you can't get involved in business things because we're afraid you're going to get caught up and you're going to miss Ma'ariv. Same thing that we said yesterday by Mincha Katana. But if there's going to be no other time, let's say you're giving a shir b'Rabim, al kol panim lo yachar yos mechatzos halayla. Al kol panim, you should not daven Ma'ariv after chatzos halayla, meaning lechatchila. B'di'evet afilu achar chatzos. Actually, Allah Amar Shachar Yotza B'di'evet, you're allowed to daven Ma'ariv after Chatzos until dawn. And then there are shitas that say even after dawn you could daven. But that's not pashut at all. Meaning before Misha Yakir. Gimel, Misha Bala Basic Knesses and Tfilas Aris. A guy comes to Shul for Ma'ariv, and he got there and they're up to Shemona Esrei. Meaning he missed the first part of Ma'ariv. So Afilo Dayan Enu Laila, even if it's not night, Elami Plaga Min Chulamala, they're davening by a plag minyan, Mispalim Yom Shemona Esrei. So then you could daven with them Shemona Esrei. Right? And then afterwards, when it's night, Omer Akriya Shema Im HaBrachos. And after that, you read Kriya Shema with the brachas after Laila. And if he gets to Ma'ariv and the tzibur is already in middle of Birchas Kriya Shema or Shema, v'yeshu shas lemer kodim shigil tulish men esrei Kriya Shema ima brachas ad shemer ma yisol, and he has enough time that he could catch up to them and daven Shema with the brachas. So Yasa Kain, he should do that via daling Baruch Hashem Lo'ilam, but skip Baruch Hashem Lo'ilam because that's not so necessary. Rather to start Shemon Esrei on time. Same thing for those that keep the minhag Eretz Yisrael and they don't say Baruch Hashem Lo'ilam, and you're davening in a minyan, or somebody, I'm sorry, who says Baruch Hashem Lo'ilam, which is the minhag in most of the world, but not in Eretz Yisrael, and you're davening in Eretz Yisrael, so you should skip it because otherwise you're going to miss davening the Iker Tefillah B'tzibur. Fine, and you don't have to catch up and say it after davening. All right, but Shabura says you could say it after davening without Hashem's name. Fine. And if a person didn't daven mincha and the tzibur was already davening ma'ariv, so you spell tefillah shmon esrei mincha b'shasha tzibur amr kriya shema brachas. So then what you should do, meaning you came into shul and they're in the middle of a plag ma'ariv, you didn't even daven mincha yet. So what you should do is daven shmon esrei mincha when the tzibur is saying kriya shema the brachas v'yishemat, and wait a little bit enough time to walk Dalar Amas, which is 2-3 seconds. And then after that, you daven Shemona Esrei with the tzibur from Ma'ariv. You say Kriya Shema brachas. By the way, there are some shitas. I think the Chavetz Chaim himself did this. If he ever davened before nightfall, he would not say the brachas. He held that saying Kriya Shema with the brachas at the proper time is very important. It's not enough just to say Kriya Shema. So therefore, he just davened Shemona Esrei, even if he was on time. He just davened Shemona Esrei, and he let and then he davened the rest of it later. Fine. Daven Baruch Hashem Lo'olam ad yiru einenu yesh lamer yeshiva. You should say it sitting down. V'asal lahafsik min tchilas v'uracham ad la'achar Shemona Esrei. You're not allowed to talk from v'uracham till after Shemona Esrei. That's another one people misunderstand. They think as long as you haven't started Ma'ariv and you heard you haven't started Ma'ariv, you're allowed to talk after Baruch Hu. You're not allowed to. Once we start from V'hurachum, you are not allowed to talk, even if you haven't started davening Ma'ariv yourself. How's he allowed to do that if you're not allowed to talk? That's not a hefzik because it's a tzarech for the tefillah. Hey, so let's say the minyan's over and you have that one guy who's still davening Shemona Esrei, and you're the only other guy left. His friend is chayiv to wait until he finishes davening so that it shouldn't mess with his brain. Meaning he's going to get nervous that, I'm going to be left alone, etc., etc. So you got to stay there. But let's say the guy came in late and he was not able to finish his davening with the tzibur. Then you don't have to wait for him. It's obvious that he realized that if he's going to start his Shemona Esrei now, he's going to be left in the shul alone, and he didn't care, so you don't have to wait for him, but it's still better to wait for him. Okay, that's that.